Eoghan Corry, editor of Air and Travel magazine, very familiar to all these problems. Eoghan, what is this on the Richter scale? Is this as bad as it gets in terms of travel disruption?
Pretty much. It's Europe's largest hub. Hub airports sometimes come to a halt for a long period. Chicago would be a bigger airport than Heathrow in passenger numbers. It's prone to ice storms. It would happen 2 or 3 times. But it's not great timing for the recovery, but they will recover. Aviation is good at this. They deal with ash clouds, they deal with snow in winter and thunderstorms in summer and rafts of cancellations. It is a mess. Aircraft in the wrong place already today. It's going to take 3 or 4 days to put it all back together, but they will. So
talk to me about if you're expecting your Auntie Mary to come in on an Aer Lingus flight. There's, 17 flights both ways between Dublin and London, which are all affected into Heathrow. And some say was coming long distance into British Airways flight into Heathrow. What are the alternatives?
You put your finger on it. A lot of the difference with Heathrow as opposed to Stansted, and would expect Ryanair and the Gatwick flights to pick up a lot of the point-to-point. The difference is with Heathrow, people aren't getting off in London, they're going on to somewhere else. Now, the contract with the airline is still in place. It means that they have to get you exactly to where you're going. They can't dump you in Manchester and tell you, make your own way down to London. It's all of those things are still in place. The way the information will be conveyed to the passengers has changed massively in the last few years. Auntie Mary mightn't actually be up to speed with it, but most people would have most of the information on their mobile phone. When it happens to me more often than I'd like, where I miss a connecting flight. When you get off, you walk down, you're just walking off the aircraft, you get a message with your new boarding card saying you've been rebooked on this flight. The problem here is the scale, the sheer numbers involved. It's going to take, and British Airways, the airport response in all these situations is contact your airline. It's pretty much useless because the British Airways are overwhelmed with the queries. My strong advice is to people wait for the airline to contact you. It's their problem, not yours. They mightn't get you there immediately. And when it comes to Heathrow, there's going to be a connection to be booked as well. I know in my own case, on more than one occasion, I've had 5 flights on my one booking. So a lot of rebooking will have to be done. The AI and the computer systems and the awesome technology that the airlines have invested in heavily is going to be taxed to cope with this problem. But I've no doubt that they will. And if the trip no longer makes sense, you're entitled to a refund. The compensation question is unlikely because the airlines will all say it's outside of their control.
Enjoy real savings this week at SuperValue. Like SuperValue Fresh Irish Pork Loin Roast, now half price. SuperValue Fresh Irish Eye of the Round, save 33%. Pick up 12-pack bottle boxes from $14.50. And until Sunday, scan your card or app and get selected medium Easter eggs 5 for €5. Make real savings every week at SuperValue. Enjoy alcohol responsibly. Customer quotas apply.
If you don't take that first step, you'll never know what might be. At Life Credit Union, we want to talk mortgages with you. Simply give us a call and see how our mortgage team can support you through every step of your journey. So if you're looking for a mortgage with a human touch, get a Life. See lifecu.ie. Warning, if you do not meet the repayments on your loan, your account will go into arrears. This may affect your credit rating, which may limit your ability to access credit in the future. Warning, your home is at risk if you do not keep up payments on a mortgage or any other loan secured on it. Warning, the cost of your monthly payments may increase. Life Credit Union is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
And those that might be affected in a hub context, Singapore, Hong Kong, Delhi, those are the type of connecting flights. It is a nightmare for people.
Complete nightmare. And when a hub comes down, it's much more dramatic than when a point-to-point comes down. Like from the 70s up till the arrival of Ryanair and the low-cost aviation revolution, hub and spoke, we were all told that's the way to go. We've learned, Ryanair have taught us that people like to fly direct to Alicante. They don't like to fly to Madrid or Heathrow and down to Alicante. But the hub and spoke system, it still works for those sort of more complicated and longer distance where the volumes wouldn't be there. A lot of people, the Heathrow as well, just to put a perspective on it, it's by far the largest hub used by Irish people. With the 17 flights, 11 Aer Lingus and 6 British Airways we have today, that would be normal for a day. That's the rotations, where 17 in, 17 out. That would be normal. And we also have 4 Shannon, Cork and 7 Belfast and 1 Knock and 3 Derry. But all of that would be the sort of, that would be normal. We don't have that level of service to the other big hubs. People who want to go to Paris would have 7 flights a day, Amsterdam about 10, Frankfurt much the same, and Doha and Istanbul and Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They're the other big ones we'd use. Heathrow, by its scale of its size, is much, much bigger than those, almost all of them put together. And it's also, in terms of London airports, the number of flights a day, almost as big as all the other London airports put together. Stansted is quite substantial. Gatwick is about 5, and we lost some of the Gatwick slots that Aer Lingus, because Aer Lingus pulled out of it. Ryanair wanted to fill them and were prevented from doing so by the Dublin Airport passenger cap. Luton, Southend and London City, they're smaller airports. It's going to take the sheer capacity we've lost to Heathrow is going to take a lot of repairing, putting together, but they will do it. And the other bit that breaks down when this happens is the nature of your booking, Ivan. If you're got one PNR, if you've got one ticket with your end destination, the Dublin Heathrow, Heathrow Mumbai, whatever, you're fine. British Airways will solve the problem. If you've made a separate booking from Heathrow, which some people do, it becomes more problematic. And then the third bit of this, and it became very apparent during the pandemic, is the internet is crawling with loads of people selling you flights and telling you, we'll do the booking with the airline. And then Aer Lingus have put a flag on their website saying some of the communication we're making with our customers isn't landing with the customers. It's going to some intermediary, probably not based in Ireland at all. So the two things there, the process of the rebooking, the airline is quite capable of saying, it's not our problem. The second thing is the process of getting the information to the passenger becomes more complicated. Real reminder, book directly with the airline or, and this is important too, a licensed bonded travel agent. They've been up since 2:00 this morning rerouting people. They found ways through Amsterdam, Paris for their clients. They're the people, but make sure you have somebody to phone or someone who's going to contact you when things start going wrong at 2:00 in the morning, which is literally what happened here.
Now, if I have a booking to go through Heathrow Saturday, Sunday, that's unaffected. It reopens at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And if it's running at 99% capacity, where are they going to get the slots to get out?
Absolutely. The existing passengers take priority. Nobody gets bumped off a flight to reallocate a seat to somebody who should have travelled today. Finding the slots, the aircraft aren't enormously full at this time of the year. It's not July, August, but they will find the seats. They will put extra. Occasionally, they will get extra flights and get extra slots for the aircraft to move them around. You got to remember that the slot crisis in Heathrow is an early morning one. So the afternoon and evening slots are not worth the enormous amounts of money that you hear being paid by airlines to buy Heathrow slots. They're very valuable at 7 a.m. They're not quite so valuable at 2 p.m. or
and
7
finally,
p.m.
The compensation.
So there is capacity to do
the
that.
compensation, if you've got costs of getting from Stansted to Heathrow, if you have an overnight in London or wherever, is it fully compensatable?
No, not at all. The airlines will say this is outside of our responsibility. It's if the airline cancels arbitrarily, you are entitled to compensation under EU 261. If it's circumstances beyond their control, that you are not. That's where travel insurance kicks in, and travel insurance is a many-headed beast as well. Make sure you have flight disruption. It costs about €6 a year extra onto the ordinary policy, the very standard policy everybody gets for 12 months. It's worth having for instances like this. Otherwise, you're stuck with all the messy stuff about hotels, car hire, and the match that you were supposed to have attended.
As always, Eoghan Corry, editor of Air and Travel magazine, with all the salient information. Thank you.
The podcast.